File 1 of a Treatise of Human Nature, by David Hume, Volume 2. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Recording by George Yeager. A Treatise of Human Nature, by David Hume. Book 2 of the Passions. Part 1 of Pride and Humility. Section 1. Division of the Subject. As all the perceptions of the mind may be divided into impressions and ideas, so the impressions admit of another division into original and secondary. This division of the impressions is the same with that which I formerly made use of in Book 1, Part 1, Section 2, when I distinguished them into impressions of sensation and reflection. Original impressions or impressions of sensation are such as without any antecedent perception arise in the soul, from the constitution of the body, from the animal spirits, or from the application of objects to the external organs. Secondary or reflective impressions are such as proceed from some of these original ones, either immediately or by the interposition of its idea. Of the first kind are all the impressions of the senses, and all bodily pains and pleasures. Of the second are the passions, and other emotions resembling them. It is certain that the mind, in its perceptions, must begin somewhere, and that since the impressions precede their correspondent ideas, there must be some impressions, which, without any introduction, make their appearance in the soul. As these depend upon natural and physical causes, the examination of them would lead me too far from my present subject, into the sciences of anatomy and natural philosophy. For this reason, I shall here confine myself to those other impressions, which I have called secondary and reflective, as arising either from the original impressions or from their ideas. Bodily pains and pleasures are the source of many passions, both when felt and considered by the mind, but arise originally in the soul or in the body, whichever you please to call it, without any preceding thought or perception. A fit of the gout produces a long train of passions, as grief, hope, fear, but is not derived immediately from any affection or idea. The reflective impressions may be divided into two kinds, that is, the calm and the violent. Of the first kind is the sense of beauty and deformity in action, composition, and external objects. Of the second are the passions of love and hatred, grief and joy, pride and humility. This division is far from being exact. The raptures of poetry and music frequently rise to the greatest height, while those other impressions, properly called passions, may decay into so soft an emotion as to become, in a manner, imperceptible. But as in general the passions are more violent than the emotions arising from beauty and deformity, these impressions have been commonly distinguished from each other. The subject of the human mind being so copious and various, I shall here take advantage of this vulgar and specious division, that I may proceed with the greater order, and having said all I thought necessary concerning our ideas, shall now explain those violent emotions or passions, their nature, origin, causes, and effects. When we take a survey of the passions, there occurs a division of them into direct and indirect. By direct passions I understand such as arise immediately from good or evil, from pain or pleasure. By indirect, such
Sample complete. Ready to continue?